Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another video. I have a very interesting topic today. That topic is, how do you know when a game is inspired versus when a game is a ripoff? And I happen to be playing the perfect game in the background for this, Brawlhalla. But this isn't really what the video is about. This is more about gaming as a whole. So there are a lot of people that will find a game, right? And they will say that this game is the Patreon of, I guess, the genre that the game is in, right? So it would be like Fortnite with building third-person shooter. It would be Minecraft with, I guess, the survival crafting games. And then it would be like things like, FPS mechanics of Call of Duty, and then if any other game is an FPS, it's a Call of Duty ripoff. Or things like the Dark Souls games, where a game has bosses and dodge frames, and then people say, well, that's a ripoff of Dark Souls. But I want to explain something here. Gaming as a whole is based on taking an idea and not stealing it, but implementing on it. There are people that try and just flat out steal ideas and make absolute complete ripoffs of it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that it's not the case, but to say that a game is just a flat out ripoff simply because it has similar mechanics that's just not justifiable, in my opinion. For example, the game that you're watching in the background right now is called Brawlhalla, and it obviously looks like a very popular Nintendo Smash game. However, this game revolves around picking up weapons. Smash, however, is based on a character having a definite moveset, and it doesn't matter if they pick up an item or not. It doesn't change their moveset. They have their moveset, and that's that. This is basically the same thing, except you have two movesets. It's either it's either one weapon that you have or the other weapon you have, and that character has a unique moveset to that character. This was inspired by Smash Bros, yes, but is it a ripoff? Heck no. It has its own personality, and it has its own charm. Another thing, I was looking at this, I'm not sure what the game is called, but it's like a shooter version of something similar to Dark Souls. And I saw a whole bunch of people, like, on forums or on, like, gameplay of it saying, this is such a ripoff. It's absolutely a ripoff, even though it had pretty bad melee combat and was more just about avoiding getting hit just like Dark Souls and just doing damage with a gun. Even though the story was completely different, even though the lighting was completely different, even though everything about the game was pretty different, simply because there was a similar mechanic, people began hating on the game. They didn't give it a chance, they just began hating on it. Most people that I was seeing would at least, you would at least see people in the freaking comments like, this sucks, it's just bad. And don't get it twisted, because I think everyone can fall victim to this at times. Like, if you guys know, like, in my Call of Duty videos that I've made talking about Call of Duty, I ridicule Black Ops 4 for saying, this thing is going to have Battle Royale, but, I mean, I doubt it's going to be like Fortnite, but it is clear that they are just putting in Battle Royale because they're trying to ride the train. That's the reason why that's there. But it could be unique, but I mean, how unique can it be? You're talking about just having Battle Royale, and it just so happens to be where Battle Royale is incredibly popular right now. I don't really think that's why they implemented that. Now, let me go over a ripoff. Now, let me describe a ripoff. A ripoff is where they flat out take the idea, change characters, and maybe textures and call it a different game. This happened when someone tried to make a basically cartoonish Uncharted that I do not remember the name of, but I do remember watching a bit of gameplay of it, and it was clearly the Uncharted formula, where you're climbing buildings and stuff like that, and your goal is to take crap. Oh my gosh, it was beyond obvious that it was a copy. And it was just terrible. And then you got games like, especially on the mobile store, like Craft Royale, Clash of Kings, copying Clash Royale, things like that. And it's just not something that I believe that I don't believe that people should just take an idea and copy on it, but it's about taking an idea and implementing on it. That is what all games were based around. There is no Patreon for games. Like, a lot of people try and find a game and say, this game completely changed how the genre works and it's the true original. There is no such thing as the true original, because all games are based around taking ideas. You take ideas and you put the spin on it. And that's pretty much how not just games but things IRL work. You take an idea, you put your own spin on it. That's how many things get created. That's how different forms of art, different forms of martial arts, there's different forms of cooking. So many things are based on taking ideas and implementing on them. I don't care what people say. You are not the first to do something, period. And if you are, someone is going to take your idea and try and put their own spin on it, and they could create something. Are they considered the first? I guess not, because it wasn't technically originally their idea. They just manipulated your idea to something that went better with what they viewed on, with what they had a view on, I suppose. It's really pathetic to see how people are so quick to say what is and what isn't a ripoff of something, even though they haven't really taken the time to realize just how interconnected games are as a whole. Everything has some type of inspiration to it. There is not a single thing that was not created without inspiration. It's just that simple. Whether it was as apparent as other cases, that's not the case. But what is the case is it clearly a ripoff, or did they take that idea and implement on it? I encourage you, like, if you see a game that has a bit of similar mechanics, don't flat out call it a copy. Take the time to actually look at the gameplay and see if it truly is a copy, or if it's something in its own league, just with similar mechanics for another game that you might enjoy. That pretty much wraps it up. Hope you guys enjoyed what I had to say. How do you feel about it? Like, do you think that a game truly can be considered the Patreon, air quotes, of, I guess, the genre, or do you agree with me in that all games are inspired by something, and gaming as a whole is based on taking an idea and implementing on it? I'd really like to hear what you have to say in the comments below. Okay, I want to also just have a bit of an update at the end of this video. I want to grow this channel artificially. However, the way that YouTube is working, you are not subscribed to me if you hit subscribe. You're only subscribed if you hit subscribe and the notification bell, which is completely unfair. They have admitted to this flawed algorithm, yet still to this day have not done anything about it. So if you would like to subscribe to me, that would be grateful. But the only way to truly subscribe to me is to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Please do consider it. I'd appreciate it. It's your choice. I'm not forcing you. So, with that being said, rate the video what you think it deserves. Tell me what you want to see in the future in the comments below. And as always, I will see all of you in the next video. Take care.